Why does the house always win in Vegas? Because they don't play on hope and they don't play on emotion. They play on probability. To break 80, you need to stop being the gambler and start being the house. Today, I'm teaching you GTO, Golf Theory Optimal. It is a decision-making framework powered by math. It proves exactly why pin hunting and hero shots are destroying your scores and gives you the logical roadmap to stop making bad decisions. Let's hop into it. Most of you guys are playing YouTube golf. You see influencers and creators smashing driver off of every tee box. You see tour pros firing at tuck pins every Sunday when they're in contention. You think that is how golf is played. It's a hit and hope strategy and it's destroying your scorecard. But here's the truth. You are being fooled by the highlight reel. The PGA Tour events only show the best players playing at their absolute best in contention on a Sunday. They have to attack the pins because they're chasing a trophy. You never see the rest of their game from Thursday through Saturday, the boring shots to the middle of the green, the layups to be safe. You only see them when they're in contention and playing at their absolute best. 95% of you guys out there have heard of course management, but you don't know what it truly is and the nuances of playing really strategic golf. Most people think it just means playing safe and boring golf. It doesn't. To fix this, I developed a concept called Golf Theory Optimal, or GTO. It is a mathematical framework built just for you to tell you what decisions to make when you're on the course and make the proper strategic play. GTO removes hope from your game and replaces it with probability and positive outcomes. It forces you to play the optimal shot based on your skills. GTO is unique in that, yes, we do use analytics and data to drive the majority of our decisions, but we also tailor that around the skills and limitations of you, the golfer. The pros play the distance game or bomb and gouge because they have the swing speed to get it out of the rough and onto the green. Amateurs don't. Amateurs miss the fairway and they lose a stroke. GTO calculates that risk. It tells you the math of what club to hit in what circumstance. Let's take a look at this hole. Influencer golf says smash driver, get it down as close as you can to the green. That is a negative equity decision and it will cost you strokes. You are betting your score on this hole based off of a shot that you can only pull off 30% of the time. That is gambling, not golfing. GTO introduces a variable called club confidence. It asks what club gives me the highest probability of being in a playable area. If your driver doesn't fit the fairway dispersion, it stays in the bag. We aren't playing for the highlight reel. We are playing to get the lowest score. This shot won't get you a lot of likes on Instagram, but it will save you 2 strokes. The SwingWise app runs all the math instantly. It gives you all the information you need from tee to green from a shot perspective. It gives you actual distance, plays like distance, slope, wind, club recommendation, and aim point. And you can apply GTO using these 3 simple principles. The ego check. Are you hitting the smart play or are you trying to show off? If it's ego, get a different club. The recovery reality. We're not about hitting hero shots, we're about getting it back in position. The third principle is the confidence factor. If you don't have complete confidence in the shot you're about to hit and cannot hit it with intent, don't do it, choose another approach. Now that you've seen what GTO is all about, let's take you out on the course while I demonstrate how to do it on your own. I'm going to explain a little bit of Golf Theory Optimal to you, what I'm calling the way of the wise golfer. What I do is I have to assess myself club confidence. So with this club, my 7-iron, I have a club confidence of 70%. And I look at the green, you can see there's a bunker short right, and then there's a bunker on the left. And what I'm trying to do is surrounding the green or whatever my target area is on a tee shot, what is the danger that surrounds it? So that's a kind of smallish bunker on the right in its front. So I'm going to say that's about 15% coverage of the overall circumference of the green. And you can't see the left bunker, but it's much larger. I'm going to say that's like 30%. So if I add those two together, it's 45% risk, like in a game theory optimal, like they do in poker. My confidence, my pot odds or my equity is 70%. That's greater
longer than the 45%, so I'm gonna hit my normal shot. The one other adjustment I'll make is there's a bunker on the left and there's no bunker on the right. The pin's in the dead middle, so I'm gonna aim a little bit right of the flag. We've got 165. I would say I will aim about 10 feet to the right of the flag to stay out of the bunker on the left, and then I'm gonna have enough club to cover that bunker unless I hit it really bad. Let's see how we do. The wind's picked up, so I'm gonna drop down to a 6-iron, but I have the same about confidence level. It's higher than what the danger is. So I'm just gonna try and fly to 6-iron back there. Oh, Jen, I thought I had it, but I think I pushed it. All right, so we're right of the green, a little bit short-sighted. So this hole, the real danger isn't necessarily water or bunkers, it's the way it's formed. And there's really no bailout here unless you go super long or super short. So we'll have a little bit challenging of a chip shot, but not too bad because the pin's in the middle. So we should have some room to work with. See, if the pin being in the middle, that's not that bad of a shot. If the pin was like where my ball is, then it's horribly short-sighted. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, man. All right, so up ahead, there's really no danger other than missing the fairway and getting in trouble left or maybe right. So on this one, I just take a 5-wood because it's a good landing area, about 230 out to hit the fairway. Not much of an assessment to do on the tee shot here, but we're just gonna try and hit our 5-wood into the fairway. All right, Jen, that was a good one. So the big thing on that hole is there's no real like water or sand or anything. There's sort of an OB left if I'd hit my driver and went too far. So to prevent that, I just know from playing this hole, the best shot of me hitting the fairway is hitting this 5-wood instead of driver. All right, so we're on a second shot on the par 5. We just barely missed the fairway, kicked down here, but we're not in real trouble. We just need to lay up anyways because it's too hard to get to the green. There's a creek, plus we're like 240, which is the top end of my 3-wood. So there's really not much to assess on what to hit to get to the green, but now we need to assess the best way to lay up. And so I want to try and lay up to about 100 yards, give or take. Based on the fact we've got like 260 or so, I'm just going to punch a 7-iron down there. It should get me around 100 yards. The only thing I got to be kind of leery of is not pushing it into the woods and hitting the tree and coming down. The fairway's pretty wide open. So I'm gonna, the critical thing in the steps for assessing the danger is really picking a good aim point. If you look, I'm gonna aim a good 15 feet left of the tree limb so I don't clip that, and I'm just gonna do my like nice little punchy shot with my 7-iron to get it down there. And it's downhill, so this will probably go like at least 160, if not 170 coming down the hill. Putting us, right around that 100-yard mark probably. We had a good layup. We were at 102. We're trying to get about 100. This one's a little bit better use case for the methodology in that we've got water, but we just have the water up front. It does go across the whole green, and then it gets kind of bigger on the last half of the green. So I would say that's probably covering about 30 to 35%. I've got like a sand wedge here. I'm like 90-95% confident in this club. The only thing I am gonna do though is make sure I hit enough club to get over it. It's 102 to the pin. It's 97 to carry. I'm gonna try and hit it 105 so that there's no chance of it going into the water unless I hit a really, really bad shot. And I'm gonna aim about 8 feet right of the pin. Even though this is kind of a green light, there's just a little bit more room to the right. The cover gets a little bit longer the more you go left. So I've got a 54. This is gonna be just a nice little 3/4 54. Think about that one, Jen. Pin high, about 10 feet. I guess maybe I can start aiming directly at the pin because that one went exactly the 10 feet right of the pin that I said I was aiming. All right, so we got maybe about a 15-foot birdie putt. Good shot nonetheless. See if we can't pour it in. Oh, misread. All right, on to the next. So on this hole, we've got 3 bunkers on the left and then woods obviously, and then woods on the right. I know the fairway width is good for my 3-wood, so I'm gonna aim straight, hit my 3-wood. I'm gonna aim a little right of center so I don't go into the bunkers on the left. If I was doing the normal assessment, the bunkers, I maybe would take up like 25% of this imaginary circle I would drop in the middle of the fairway. That's way lower than my confidence with my 3-wood, which is like 75%. Gives us the green light to go ahead and hit our 3-wood in the middle of the fairway. And we know it's the right shot based on our odds of hitting in the bunkers or the woods. And correction, I hit the 5 wood, not the 3 wood. Hit that 5 wood to perfection. It might replace the 3 wood. All right, so we've got 134 to the green, which is a pitching wedge for me. Around the green, we've got 2 bunkers, one on the left, one on the right, and then there's a couple other ones short. I'd assess it's maybe 30% surrounding the green. My confidence with the pitching wedge is 90% roughly. So I'm gonna go with a pitching wedge here. The pin is kind of tucked towards one of the bunkers though, so to offset that risk, we've got 130, make it 140. I'm gonna aim 7 feet left of the pin, try and get one tight from there. Fortunately, there's not much risk on this shot. I just need to focus and hit a good shot, make good contact. All right, that's pin high, about 30 feet. All right, so we ended up here, a little short of pin high. I don't know, about 25 feet, a little right to lefter, see if we can't make Jen happy and make a putt. Oh, I thought it was gonna peel back to the right. A little knuckleball. All right, knucklehead, stress-free. Stress-free?
Par.
There you go. Join in, Jen. You're part of the production. You're integral to the production. Otherwise, nobody get anything to see. All right, so we're gonna play a par 4 and kind of walk you through how to use the GTO, the way of the wise player. This hole's pretty straightforward. It's pretty wide open fairway. The fairway's like 60 yards wide. There is trouble on the left though. There's this kind of waste area. And then actually the worst part is if you get in that grassy like pitcher's mound over there to the left, because you don't know what kind of lie you're gonna get. Wide enough to hit driver. What I like to do is tee it up high on this one and hit my kind of bomb draw. And I'll start out down the right-hand side of the fairway and pull it back in, hopefully. This one, you know, not a lot of danger to assess, but I do like to make sure I pick a good aim point no matter what. And so my aim point is just right of center, and then the ball should draw back into the middle of the fairway. Ooh, came out of it a little, but I think we're good, Jen. Got away with it. Not the smoothest of swings. All right, so we've got 189 yards, including the slope, this very big incline here. The biggest challenge on this one, there's no bunkers or water up there. It's, you know, keeping your head in the game and hitting a solid shot to make sure you carry up the slope and also take enough club. 189 is kind of borderline between a 5 and a 6 for me. Sometimes I'll hit the 6 because I like my 6 better, which is another thing for, you know, I know we have a methodology we're going over today and there's kind of 4 main components, but it should also include if you're not feeling your best, you know, take an extra club. It's not a big deal. What we want to do is play wise golf, where we put the odds in our favor and we get it as close to the hole as possible without taking on too much risk. That kind of sums it up. Right here, there's not a lot of risk other than we just need to kind of buckle down and hit a good shot and make good contact. We are going to aim actually just right of the flag. Some people might think that's short-sighted because it is on the right-hand side, but the green funnels that way. And then if you see that big darker green tree in the back, if you go left of that, there's a swale and you go down in that and it takes you another 30 feet or so away from the hole. As counterintuitive as it may seem, I'm gonna aim right of the pin because if I hit up there, it'll kick it back left onto the green. And then even if I end up being in the rough or the fringe over there, it's not too bad from a short side perspective. It's a relatively easy chip. Those are some of the other things you think about, right? Like we're in the aim point, kind of being the biggest point of this methodology is if you don't pick a good aim point, when you miss, you're gonna miss in the wrong spot, which is just gonna add strokes to your game. So, and obviously this is kind of the light version you can do on your own, but when the app becomes available, the app will do all this stuff for you. Let's see how we do, Jen. Oh, just a little too far left, Jen. So I think we got on the green. We're gonna have a very long putt, but hey, we got up on the green. The most important metric in golf is greens in regulation. It's the best chance of lowering your scores. 190 up the hill, 5 iron. Not too bad for an old man. So the shot actually turned out better than I thought from the fairway. I thought we were so far left and I thought the pin was further up that we'd be down there in the bowl. We still have like a 35-foot putt, but it's very doable for the lag putt king of Atlanta National, right? So it looks like it's gonna go a little right to left and then back to the right at the end. Our goal here, as always, is to make a stress-free par. So we're gonna cozy this one up and every now and then we get lucky and make one of these. The way of the wise! Ah, But hey, I don't even have to look at this one to knock it in, right, Jen? See, Jen? No look. Stress-free. Didn't even have to watch it go in type shit, gang. All right, so on this hole, when I'm doing the assessment, first off, I shot it and it's 139, which is the top end of my pitching wedge. So I'm gonna hit my pitching wedge. And I'm not hitting it just because it's the top end of my range with this club. It's because I don't want to go over. And so if anything, it'll come up a little bit short. So the first danger I'm taking out is the back, just because I'll be short-sided. There are bunkers surrounding the green that make up maybe 35%. My confidence with this is 95%. Hit my pitching wedge really well. The next big thing is make sure we cover that one bunker, which to cover that is only about 125. Assuming I don't hit a totally pitiful shot, I'm gonna have plenty to get over. It's gonna be more of an alignment and aim point thing on this hole. And I don't wanna aim too far right, but since I play a little bit of a draw with this, and we've got 140 roughly, I'm gonna aim 7 to 10 feet right of the pin and draw it back into the hole. If it doesn't quite get there, it'll catch the slope and come back down, but we're just trying to make sure we get it on the green. It's a kind of a dangerous pin position to hit. Trying to line up all the factors in my favor here and stick to my game plan of playing golf theory optimal the wise way. All right, here we go, Jen. Pitch a wedge, 140 in the hole. Hitting it high today too, aren't we? All right, I think we caught the right side of the green, or maybe just in the fringe. Should be in good shape. But the point here is to just, you know, put the odds in your favor. Don't take on the risk of going over the green or short of the green. Put yourself in a good position so you can make par better. So we went a little past pin high. I just must have caught that one really good. We're a little short-sided, but it's back up into a hill a little bit. It's really not that hard of a chip. Just gonna do a little toe down magic, float one onto the front of the green there, just past the fringe, and let it trickle on into the hole. Oh, that would have gone in, Jen, if I flew it another 3 feet. That kind of hung up in the fringe. A little bit of a stressor for par, but hey, it's a realistic shot at par, so we have not screwed anything up too wildly yet. I don't think I can do the no look on this one. All right, so we got another example hole here. It's par 4, about 380. Goes just gently to the right a little bit and goes down a steep slope. If I catch a really good one, I can get pretty close to the bottom of the hill and have a really close shot. I like doing that because I'm pretty good in those awkward numbers of like 30 to 70 yards. I've spent some time developing that shot, and so I feel very comfortable with it. But we're different from like Mark Brody and strokes gained, and everybody's like, and people make comments on the videos like, you should get closer to the hole always on the par 5s. I'm like, yeah, in theory that makes sense, but you know, if you're a player who can't hit that shot, I'd much rather see you hit a full sand wedge from 100 yards rather than trying to punch a lob wedge or a sand wedge or a 50 degree up there. Some people just don't have that shot. Let's be realistic about it. What I like to do is put odds in my favor. This hole, there's really no danger other than the woods on the left and the woods on the right. You do have to be mindful of that, but the fairway's pretty generous. So I'm gonna hit a driver. I'm gonna try and cut it just a hair and see how far down the hill I can get. Oh, Jen! How good is that? I'm the best golf strategy instructor other than the golf sidekick. I will bow down to him, but I'm right behind you, golf sidekick. I would like to do a collab where he lives. Let's go to Thailand and play some golf, golf sidekick. We'll fly out there to you. All right, so we got about 106 yards. Normally that'd be a 54 degree. I'm just gonna do like a 3/4 50 degree. It's a little bit safer shot for me. The danger is the 2 bunkers and going over the green. So I wanna make sure I don't go over the green more than not go into the 2 bunkers, because that's a much more difficult shot than the bunker shots. But all things told, I'd say if you add up the bunker size and the back part of the green that's dangerous, it's about 60% of the surrounding area where I don't wanna be. And this club's about a 95% club confidence. So I've got the green light. I'm gonna go pretty much at it, but we'll aim just slightly right because of my lie. I've got it where it's gonna pull it to the left a little. So I'm just maybe 5 feet right of the pin and see how close we can get it. Ooh. All right, so we went just a little too far, but it looked like it had a chance to go in. Luckily, it's still on the fringe, but I think we successfully navigated that. So I think we got a good shot at birdie, right, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so here we have an example of a par 5. When I'm assessing this tee shot, there's a waist bunker you can't really see that divides the fairway. You know, I don't count that as too much against me because most of the time I have to lay up on this hole anyway. So the real key is making sure I make good contact. Aim point is very critical. You can see this, the top of this bushy pine tree, the tallest one behind those green trees. I'm gonna aim just on the left edge of that. And if I hit a good one, we should be in position to go for it in 2. If not, it's a layup shot. And if I have to lay up out of the waist bunker, no big deal. So we don't have to do any big math on this one. It's really just get up there and try and hit my aim point and hit a solid shot with the driver. And there's the fairway's wide as crap, so. That should be in a good spot, Jen. Just in the position to have a good explanation on how to use GTO for golf, because we will be on that borderline of do you go for it or not, and there's a lot of danger up by that green. So, all right, so here's a great example to show you guys on how to do this math. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bunkers covering the back and along the right-hand side, and then we have a creek that goes along the front, and then left is a small little pond. So this thing is completely surrounded. If I added up that space, I'd say it's about an 80% coverage. I'm hitting my 5 wood, which is probably right about an 80% club for me. And where the pin is, it's 217 on the front, but I hit this really good and I hit it about 225 to 230 in the air. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the 5 wood. Since it's on the borderline, I'm still gonna hit it, but I'm gonna pick a smart aim point to kind of take the bunkers out and then also the creek in front. And the thing that's probably most dangerous for me since I draw the ball is it might overhook into the water. But the advantage of getting on a par 5 and 2 is great enough since it's right on the borderline 80 to 80 that it's worth taking a shot at. We do use some of the stroke gain stuff from a risk reward perspective, but I'm really trying to drive home the point that what I'm trying to teach people is there's a way to stack the odds in your favor. And even if this goes in the water, I can still get up and down for par. This is where you can take a more risk on approach because the reward is worth it. Here we go. We're gonna aim a good 20 feet right of the pin, if not maybe 30 feet. You know, a good aim point, if you can see, is there's a little stake to the right of the pin. So I'm gonna aim maybe just a foot or 2 to the right of that and see if we can get up on the green and make eagle or an easy birdie. All right, so we're a little late on it and we went right, but hey, we're probably about pin high, so we're chipping to get up and down for a birdie. The key point in pulling that shot off when you don't hit the perfect shot is, you know, I aimed right and then I ended up stubbing it a little bit and pushing it right, but it wasn't right enough to get in any danger over there. And I think I was right of that first bunker, so we should have a nice chip shot and see if we can go make birdie. All right, so we kind of ended up bailing out right, but we're just short of pin high. We've got a decent lie here in the rough, straightforward chip shot. Some people forget to aim on their chip shots, but I'm gonna aim where that kind of lighter green spot is. I don't know, about maybe 6 inches wide, because the green's gonna funnel from right to left. That'll give me the best chance to getting it on the green. I'm also gonna try and fly it just maybe a foot or 2 past that and let it trickle on back there. Be nice to close it out with an eagle, right? So like, well, my chip shots don't try and hit these high lob shotty kind of things. We're gonna hit a medium size flight, kind of let the ground do the rest for us. Oh. We got too aggressive on that one. All right, so we juiced it a little bit, but hey, we've got a 12-foot birdie putt left to right a little. Won't break as much towards the water as you would think. Heck, now I'm starting to think it might go right to left at the beginning here. Let me check. Nope, just gonna play it on the left lip. Close the day in style, Jen. And that's how it's done, boys and girls. Play GTO, make more birdies and pars and less doubles than others. GTO provides the formula, but you still need some skills to execute. In this masterclass, we are going to address the 5 skills needed to break 80. We are not going pin hunting. We aren't about hitting fancy lob shots. We're about getting it on the green as close as possible so we can either get up and down or 2 putts successfully. And we're not about hyper-focusing on the line. It's about speed when you're putting. We are building a game with all the facets to break 80 reliably and consistently. Here's your homework. Take a long, hard look at your game. Where do you stack up off the tee, coming into the greens, chipping around the greens, putting? If you even have a plan, do you stick to it? Take a good look at your game and where you stack up today. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. If you have any ideas for the channel, we're down to hear it, down to do it. See you in the next one.
Real quick, we're running a monthly SwingWise giveaway. Golfers will each receive a free 1-year subscription to the SwingWise app. To enter, it is simple. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Tell us what part of your game needs the most help. Winners will be chosen every month, so don't wait. Lock in your entry and start playing smarter golf with SwingWise.